back, everybody, to the Renaissance Humanism podcast, and thank you for listening. Today's episode, I will be discussing the Hamas-Israeli war, which began last week, as of recording of this episode. On October the 7th, 2023, at 6:30 a.m. local time, a Palestinian and Islamic fundamentalist group known as Hamas announced the launch of Operation Al-Qassam Flood, stating that it had fired over 5,000 rockets from the Gaza Strip into Israel within 20 minutes. Hamas launched over 5,000 rockets due to the limitations of Israel's Iron Defense Dome system, an anti-missile defense system that can stop missiles, but not all, due to the number of missiles launched by Hamas into the Jewish state, into the world's only Jewish state. During the attack and its aftermath, a second operation was launched by Hamas with ground, sea, air assault into Israel's civilian areas to capture civilians for prisoner exchange. The Palestinian militants also committed atrocities on Jewish civilians. The crime includes rape, murder, executions, taking children, babies, and others as prisoners. A key motive for Hamas taking civilian prisoners was that in 2011, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu exchanged 1,000 Hamas prisoners for one Israeli soldier. This decision has made Israel vulnerable to other bad actors within the Middle East, believing that this kind of exchange is possible, again, to get financial or prisoner exchange from Israel government. Once you show your neck to a tiger or present anything vulnerable to a medieval-based culture, they will keep coming repeatedly because they only understand strength and a show of weakness at your own peril. As of producing this on the 16th of October, the actual content for this episode, Israel has over 2,000, my apologies, over 5,200 prisoners from Palestine and Hamas. The previous and current leadership of Benjamin Netanyahu has given Hamas the cause to believe that they can actually release these prisoners by capturing some Israelis. Hamas is mostly motivated by three factors that contribute to their choice to launch an attack on Israel. The first is the potential threat of normalization between Israel and Saudi Arabia. With the war between Gaza, which is controlled by Hamas, the majority Muslim state is trying to reclaim Muslim Holy Land, which is controlled by a non-Jewish state in the region. Muslims, the government within Saudi Arabia will feel pressured by its local population and more religious fundamentalist attitudes within the Middle East. For people living in the Western world, particularly in the English-speaking nations or the Anglosphere, our Christianity has been very much neutered, and religion is seen as a force that should not be interfere in secular politics. Unfortunately, religious still plays a critical factor in the politics and life within the Middle East, and it's very hard for non-religious people to understand the impact of their day-to-day lives. The second reason why Hamas attacked Israel on the 6th of October 2023 was the same start date of the Yom Kippur War, or the Fourth Israeli-Arab War in 1973. The primary antagonist was Israel versus Egypt and Syria. This also led to Israel taking the Golan Heights from Syria and secure its northern border, having superior high ground. Israel's victory led to the normalization of relations with Egypt in 1980. Due to Israel's diplomatic and military successes, Hamas has become desperate and launched their attack to galvanize support within the Middle East and prevent the normalization with Saudi Arabia. The final reason Hamas attacked Israel was that Iran allegedly supported Hamas, potentially pushing them to launch an attack on Israel to destabilize the region and prevent Saudi Arabia and Israel from entering into an alliance that could threaten the geopolitical interests of Iran. Furthermore, this could be a last chance the Palestinians might have to attempt to reclaim the West Bank, which Israel citizens have increasingly settled, and the fear on the part of the Palestinians fundamentalists is that this last opportunity they can have to reclaim their homeland. As for Iran, they use the Hamas purely as a means to prevent an alliance between Saudi Arabia and Israel. Once Hamas is destroyed, Iran will look for another opportunity, another terrorist group to support in order to further its interest in the region, because because Israel really wants to stop any coalition within the Middle East against the Iranian influence. Thank you for listening to this episode. Hope you found it informative and enjoyable. Please don't forget to subscribe. And again, all your support is appreciated.